Hey, it's Ano. Welcome back to another video. It's good to finally be back to content creation because if you didn't notice, I did actually take the month off January to get a rest. But honestly, I was supposed to make some videos during that time, but I couldn't find the motivation to finish them. That's basically why I decided to just take the whole January off. And now it's February, and now I'm back. Looking at February, I think it's gonna be a pretty busy month for me, particularly because if you didn't know, I did actually get inside the Wuthering Waves CBT2. I'm planning to make some content on that, of course, for sure. I am really excited to play that game finally. If you wanna pre-register, there's still time. I believe it ends on February 7th. So it's still until next week. So you still have time to sign up, and hey, who knows, you might get inside the beta. But yeah, aside from that, it's a new month, so it's time for another monthly Gacha News Roundup video. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Now, the first thing that comes to mind when it's February is, of course, Valentine's. So we'll be starting with Fate Grand Order. It's gonna be the yearly Valentine's event. It's gonna start on the same day that I recorded this video, so that's gonna be Feb 1. Alright, so let's just go through the headlines. They did actually have a stream detailing the details of this event, but I'm just gonna go through the more important stuff. Now, first off, of course, let's start with the pre-release campaign. We have a banner for Murasaki Shikibu and Sei Shonagon. Looking at this picture is very painful for me because I tried to roll for both of them, but I didn't get any of them. And though I do want to get them, I am saving my Saint Quartz for the reign of Karen, since Karen is my target for this Valentine's. I really love her. She's basically like on my top 3 Fate characters, so I'm gonna have to pass on Murasaki Shikibu and Sei Shonagon again. I'm sorry. But of course, the new servant for this Valentine's is Bazette. If you're an OG Fate fan, I'm sure you probably know her. I do want to get her as well, although, like I said, Karen is my main target. So hopefully if I get Karen early, if I get Karen at all, I'll probably try to roll for Bazette, since I do like her character and she is an alter ego, and it's always good to get more alter egos. And here is the list of the servants that are gonna get their Valentine's events for this year. Basically, these are the servants that were released last year, after Valentine's last year, basically. So I'm pretty much excited to see the Fairy Knights, especially for Melusine. Melusine really shot up my waifu rankings after I got her. Even when I'm not talking about meta-wise, I just really fell in love with her character after going through Lost Belt 6 last year. Aside from her, I do want to see the Koyans Valentine's scenes as well, especially since I basically struggled to get Koyan of Dark this new year. So yeah, pretty amazing stuff. So yeah, that's basically it for FGO. Let's move on to the next game. Keeping up with the Valentine theme is Goddess of Victory Nikke. Now, the ongoing event is related to Moran. The next event after that is this one on the screen, Perfect Maid. It looks like we'll be getting a Privity alt and Aid finally. To be honest, out of the 3 Maid Nikkes, she's my favorite. So when she wasn't playable last year, I was like, but I'm happy to see that she's finally gonna be playable. So let's move on to the units, to the actual units. So as you can see here, Privity, Unkind Maid. I really feel like either the fans or the devs themselves really love Privity, because at this point she has like, what, 2 skins? Now she's gonna get her alt. I can really feel the favoritism there. Although, I mean, I'm not complaining. I do like Privity. Classic Tsundere. And as you can see here, curious, because apparently she's not gonna be limited. Because if you haven't noticed, for the limited banners or the limited Nikkes, they usually have the word limited on the background of the pickup banners. Since this one doesn't have the limited word on the background, she's probably not gonna be limited, which is interesting because at this point she's gonna be the second Nikke that has an alt that's in the standard banner. The first one is, of course, Scarlet. So that's gonna be pretty interesting But at the same time, it kind of worries me since if this isn't limited, would the next event have the limited ones? So honestly, I'm still thinking if I should pull here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And here's her video, motion video. Now, classic Cinderella right there. And if you noticed, there is actually, she actually does have a tail. So, I wonder how that got there. Alright, moving on to the next unit. We do have, as I mentioned, Aid. And like I said, she is my favorite of the 3 OG maids. And yeah, but if I'm gonna, here's the dilemma. Am I gonna go for Privity or Aid first? I'm leaning towards Aid, of course. But we'll see. If I do go for Aid first, I'll probably roll when her banner comes up. Just so that I'll only do one video for Aid and Privity, if ever. But yeah, we'll see. They don't have their kits up yet currently, so can't really look at that right now. But here's her motion video. The perfect maid. I love her so much. But yeah, let's see in the upcoming days. We'll get more stuff for sure. I do wonder if Drake is gonna have another skin since she is mentioned here in the event background info. So hey, let's see what's gonna happen. Alright, let's move on to the next game. The last game that I'm gonna cover for this video is of course the 2.0 update for Honkai Star Rail. Now, I left this for the last since this is gonna be the biggest update for the games for this video. So yeah, since of course 2.0 for a Hoyo game basically means new area, new planet, new storyline, stuff like that. So yeah, let's just go through that. Right, of course, like I mentioned, there's gonna be a new planet, Penacony. Finally, after like almost a year, we'll finally be able to see Penacony. And with that comes with the new Trailblaze mission. As you can see here, it's Black Swan and Sparkle. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, especially considering the trailers that they've dropped so far. The story is looking pretty interesting. I do wonder how the Annihilation Gang will come into this, since on the actual music video trailer, they didn't actually get an appearance there. It's just the playable characters. So really excited to see what's gonna happen in Penacony, especially since one of the new characters, Firefly, seems like she has some death flags on her based on the music video trailer. So, and to be honest, Firefly is really growing on me. I'm sorry, March. But yeah, I'm really excited where they'll go with Firefly, because it seems like they're gonna push Firefly and Trailblazer romance, maybe. I mean, at least based on the trailer. So I want to see how they handle that, since normally in a Hoyo game, they don't really tackle romance that much, at least for Genshin. For Honkai Impact 3rd, of course, since there isn't really any soft inserts in the main story there, so they were able to handle Kiana and Mei and Bronya and Cele, you know. So I want to see how they handle a potential romance with the MC. That's basically technically a self-insert. So yeah. Moving on, the new companion mission that's gonna feature Sparkle and Black Swan. It seems like there's only one listed here, Masquerade Duet. So maybe it'll feature the both of them. Pretty interesting, because as far as I know, they come from different factions. Black Swan is from Garden of Recollection and Sparkle is from the Masked Fools. So pretty excited how they'll interact. And of course, I think Sampo is gonna be there since he is in the trailer also. So somehow he's in Penacony, probably, maybe. Alright, let's move on to the next part. Of course, new version comes with the new Gacha banners. So for the first part of 2.0, we are going to get Black Swan and a rerun for Danheng in Bibitur Lune. The 4 stars are Misha, which is a new 4-star, Ice Destruction. We're also going to get Tingyun and Winaifen. This is actually pretty good banner, at least in my opinion, because of course you get Tingyun, a very general support, and a Green fan's gonna be good, especially for the DOT enjoyers like me out there. You can probably pair her up with Black Swan potentially, and for Kafka if you still don't have Guinaifen. And Misha, of course, a new character. He's probably gonna be another Ice Destruction. Well, it's written there. I mean, Ice DPS. So that's pretty much welcome for me since I don't have Jingliu in my team. So yeah. And of course, here's their Light Cone. Light Cone, for the 4 stars, it's pretty it is fine, I guess. I'm not sure what Misha's does. But of course, I am gonna pull for Black Swan's Light Cone also. And of course, Black Swan herself, since I am a DOT enjoyer. And for the part 2 of the banners, it's gonna be Sparkle and Jingyuan. Now for the 4 stars, it's gonna be Sampo, Chengche, and Hanya. Honestly, I think this is a pretty solid lineup as well. Sampo again for the DOT enjoyers, and Chengche is a pretty good quantum character, especially if you don't have Sele or Shui at the moment. And of course, Hanya is a pretty solid skill point support. Although if you are getting Sparkle, she's basically the 4-star version of Sparkle. So yeah, I mean, it's good to have options at the very least. And of course, for the Jingyuan enjoyers there, now's your time if you missed him in his first banner. And here's the Light Cone. Light Cone banner is pretty okay as well. The main pickup here is gonna be Jingyuan's 5-star Light Cone, since that is a pretty good Light Cone for all units in Erudition. So yeah, if you are an enjoyer, consider getting that. Moving on to the next, of course, here are the events that's gonna be happening alongside Penacony. All of these are gonna be in Penacony, since I do believe they wanna have the players basically explore the entirety of Penacony. And based on the live stream that they showed, it's pretty big, especially since there's like gravity stuff as well, and I think the real world and the dreamscape thing. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting to explore this based on that. Right, Hanu's Prison Break. Now for this event, there's gonna be a 4-star selector. We can either choose Sampo, Asta, Yukong, or Guinaifen. I'm probably gonna pick Guinaifen since out of all of these, she's the one that I use the most. Especially since, for example, I am gonna get Black Swan. So Black Swan is basically gonna be like the 5-star version of Sampo, since they're both wind, not nihility. So yeah, moving on. Dream Jolt TV. It's another way to get Tracks of Destiny, basically. Jades. And the Penacony Food Fest. Penacony Food Fest, I believe it's probably gonna be similar to Liben's event in Genshin Impact, if you're familiar with that. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty chill event, I think. And moving on to the last part, of course, the freebies for version 2.0. We are gonna get a free tempo right off the bat after maintenance. And that's in addition to the usual free tempo that they give out. So all in all, that's what, 20 tools all in all. So pretty good for those that want to stock up, or for those that want to pull for Black Swan or Sparkle Dispatch. And of course, the typical ×2 drops. For this one, it's gonna be the Planar Fisher. So the SU runs, and of course, the Garden of Plenty. This Garden of Plenty event is gonna be pretty helpful, especially we are gonna get new calyxes to farm in Penacony. So yeah, particularly for Sparkle and Black Swan, and Misha, of course, at the moment. So yeah, for those that want to pre-farm for them, you don't have to pre-farm for their calyx stuff. Personally, I've only farmed for Black Swan's relics at the moment, since yeah, we are gonna get new calyxes to farm for their traces and stuff. So yeah, others, of course, the Battle Pass, the Nameless Honor, and yeah, for the players that pay stuff to play Honkai Star Rail. So yeah, basically that's the major parts of it. Of course, there's also other QOL stuff. Like, I believe for the supports, we are able to set 3 characters. And then for the, what do you call that? For the showcase of characters, you can pick up to 5 characters now. So that's pretty big. And yeah, so yeah, basically that's it for Honkai Star Rail. Pretty exciting stuff. And yeah, basically those are all the games that I covered. I guess I'm just gonna give some updates on some of the games that I played or stopped playing. First of all, I stopped playing Rivers 1999. After playing for a few weeks, I couldn't really get into it. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because the material farm there is a bit more of a hassle to do or something. Particularly, yeah, it's very hard to ascend characters there, at least in my opinion. So that's the main reason why I stopped playing that. But the story, I don't know, the story is decent, but I don't know, I guess it just didn't get me invested enough with the first 4 chapters. So yeah. The other game that I stopped playing, basically, well, I wouldn't say stop playing, but I'm on a hiatus for, is PGR. So yeah, that's the reason why I didn't cover it here also. But on the flip side, I did actually start playing Blue Archive a few weeks ago. So yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. I'm level 37, I think, 36. And yeah, although I did decide to not cover it here since I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna continue playing it in the future. But right now, I am actually loving it. I do love the character designs, the color palette that they use, and the art. Pretty good stuff. I can't believe I actually like it this much. Maybe I'll do a review for that game, maybe. We'll see what happens. And yeah, finally, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I did get into the CBT2 of Wuthering Waves. You guys can expect content for that to be made. Since the pre-register is gonna end next week, Wednesday, February 7, I'm expecting the beta to go live on Friday, the same week, maybe. But we'll see. And of course, outside of that, I am gonna post my role videos for the other games that I mentioned in this game in the coming days. So yeah, basically gonna be back to the grind for me in terms of content creation, I guess. And of course, like I mentioned, I did want to make some videos that are not full videos. So yeah, we'll see where I go for that. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's it for the video. I won't take any more of your time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next videos. And yeah, I hope you have a good February. And hopefully you have a Valentine's Day. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.